Sometimes old places like this retain a bit of the past in the fabric of the building, and occasionally they seep. Hey everyone, it's Karen. Okay, so I want to tell you about a place that I used to live. Basically, when I started my third year of teaching, I moved to a different school district and I needed to find a place to live. So I ended up in this pretty affluent suburb of Chicago, right across the street from a train station in a studio apartment that was in a building that used to be a civic center. And so one of the things that I always thought when I was in there is basically like, I wonder what my apartment looked like in the past. And it was kind of this like treasure hunt that I went down, finding old images from my apartment, building in general really, and just kind of imagining what went on in that place, which I now called home. And I think that there's this eerie sense of being able to kind of feel the energy of two different time periods in one place, and just like all the activity that went on before you lived there and how different spaces were used differently over the years. So with that being said, not to be creepy, but this particular apartment is an apartment I dream about a lot, and I've lived other old places, but for some reason this one is just etched into my brain and I don't know what it is about this space. But regardless, I want to talk about a book that kind of had a similar vibe to it, about the interconnection between the past and the present while being in the same physical space. And that book is Bodies of Water by V.H. Leslie. This book is told in two different time periods, one in the 1800s and one in our present day. And the one in the present day, I felt really connected to the main character because she, like me, was drawn to this place. So the place that she was drawn to was called Wakewater House. It was on the River Thames, and basically she just felt drawn to the water and just felt so connected to that place that she ended up buying an apartment there. Essentially, this place used to be an old hospital or hydrotherapy wellness sort of situation, and they were renovating the old space into apartments. She was one of the very first people to get an apartment there, and so it's really just her and one other lady that are living in these apartments. And yeah, they haven't been fully renovated yet, so there's still like a lot of spooky, unsettling, atmospheric sort of places that they are surrounded by, since they are the only ones there. The other person, her name's Kirsten, by the way. The other person that is in the story is Evelyn, and we get her perspective from the 1800s. She is living in the exact same place. However, it's not apartments. It's like a hydrotherapy situation where basically a bunch of women who have mental health problems, hysteria, etc., go to be treated and cured of whatever their ailments are. Before coming to this wellness place, this hospital situation, she was a fierce advocate for women who were involved with sex work and just trying to like rescue them from those toxic situations and try and get them safer work and safer places to live and all that sort of stuff. Evelyn felt a heaviness in her limbs, as if she were in the water and not lying upon a couch. The bathing dress she wore was far less restrictive than her normal clothes, and she stretched her body, relishing the freedom of movement. She thought of Blanche, how she craved being in her presence, eager to receive the odd touch or caress she threw her way. Evelyn would never instigate any physical contact between them. She was too timid, too scared of rejection. It was Blanche who linked arms with her, who reached for her hand or placed her arm around her waist as they walked. She was so free with her body, free of the constraints of how one should act. Evelyn liked that. She wished that she could feel similarly unshackled. There are so many words that can describe this book. It's poetic, it's atmospheric, it's creepy and mysterious, it's unsettling, all the words. It's also, I think I already mentioned that it's poetic. Like, I feel like this author has to be a poet because of how beautiful the writing is. I'll insert a clip. I find myself often thinking about something Virginia Woolf said, Mannion continued, glancing up at the still waters. You know, she walked out into the river, filled her pockets with stones. Kirsten nodded again. Mannion had told her before how she'd written her suicide notes before making her way to the water, her actions so methodical, so clear. She said that women need a room of their own, a space to think, to write. In her day, that wasn't so easy to acquire. Freedom for oneself had to be negotiated. Kirsten thought of Mannion's flat, the rooms overflowing with her thoughts and ideas. Mannion certainly needed a lot more space to house her intellectual life. But lately, I can't help think that isn't enough. A room, no matter how large, will never be enough. A flat, a house, even a mansion like Wakewater. Why? Still not enough. We, us women, need something more. We need a larger space, a river, a sea, an ocean, to counter all those years, those centuries of being so confined, of being sealed in and locked away. There's so many themes in here as well, from like female friendship and the importance of connection between women, mental health, wellness in general, and kind of the history of women's mental health, found family, the interconnection of different time periods, and kind of like the parallel nature of people being in the same place at different times in history. There's also kind of discussions of abuse of women and just how people often try to have power over women. It's a fiercely feminist book, and I absolutely loved it. So I think there's loads of people that would absolutely adore this book, but some that are coming to mind right now, Lindy from Lindy's Magpie Reads, Sarah from Your True Shelf, Heather from Soggy Expat Book Nerd, and if you are participating in Shorty September next year, which I hope is still on, this is a perfect one at, I think, 130 pages. Let me know if you've read this, what your thoughts are, and if you plan to read it, let me know as well. I would love to chat with you about it afterwards. This is basically a book where I instantly want to reread it, and it's not because I need to rethink about everything that I ever thought about this book, as is the case with some books like The Blue Tent, but it's just because it was so haunting and so good and also so short that I just want to read it again and soak it up and underline loads of things and just like experience it again for the first time, which I know is not possible. But guys, this is so good. So yeah, let me know what you think. Talk to you soon. Bye.